Hey, this is They Talk Funny. I am here with the fantastic Rodney Ramsey. Let's put you in the hot seat. Switching you over, just doing a little bit of divide back and forth. And something happened to your mic because I don't hear you now. There was.
I'm good. Am I
Oh,
on
okay.
mute? You hear me?
No,
Am I
no,
good?
I hear you. I hear. I
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah. I was kind of whispering there. Sorry.
Yeah, technology not my strongest suit, but we have got this show. Welcome everyone who's watching or anyone who's watching the replay. I'm Paul Ash. With me is Rodney Ramsey. We're going to be talking about comedy writing, life during COVID, all this stuff. Rodney, for those of you who aren't aware, has done multiple Just for Laughs festival. He's appeared on BBC television. Maz Jabroni. No, I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, something like
Maz's
that.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And as well as as well as he is an actor who's appeared in such films as Race and the TV. Was it a mini series, the Mile Enders?
Yep. No, we're hoping for that. No. Mile Enders. No. Mile Enders was not. Mile Enders was I guess you can classify that as a mini series. Yeah, they had a few episodes. So
They
yeah,
had
yeah.
okay. There's a new project, but it's not up on your IMDb. Which was that it the Montreal Comedy.
That's a pilot. I don't know. I mean, like, it's funny. Like, a lot of stuff I've done isn't. I need to update that. But yeah, it's a pilot. It should go up though. Yeah, that should be up on IMDb. Man, that's
It
a thing that was
definitely.
on television. Yeah.
Yeah, because I recently saw it on CBC Gems, where they sometimes retest those things. So
Yeah, they re-aired. That was a weird one, man, because they had actually shown that first during, I think, in the summertime or just after summer, and they actually relaunched it, which was interesting. You know what I mean? I think it did better this time because everybody was home because it's the apocalypse.
yeah, that's. Should we jump right there or?
Am I allowed to vape? Do you mind if I vape, or is there going to be like children watching this?
I do put on it that it's not for kids. So if you want to fucking swear, you can swear as well.
Oh shit, yeah.
My Wednesday night show, I tend to drink quite heavily, which this is a special thing. By the way, for those of you who are just watching, you never saw anything on this channel before, we put all kinds of great programs. So just down, no, it's over there. Hit subscribe and hit like because that'll let everyone know that you're watching. If you have any questions for Rodney yourself, you can type them in to whichever platform you're watching, and we can make sure we ask Rodney those questions. And we just got a beep. Oh, all right, that wasn't my beep. There is. Okay, in order of the show, how we normally talk about it is comedy. Like, what was your inspiration to start comedy? What brought you to comedy?
Kind of cliche, man. I saw Delirious when I was 9. Watched that whole thing multiple times, and like that, like, I don't know, kind of changed my perspective on things. Like now that I look back, 9 was really early to be watching that shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I could have gotten like even half of the concepts and the ideas, but I mean, it was just mind blowing. And yeah, like I had that memorized, and then like I would just when I was hanging out with friends, I would just like go into some of the bits, before I even knew they were bits, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I now you're saying 9 was too young. Is that because you're dad now? Is that what has brought that?
Just for a development perspective, I don't know if that's like a healthy thing to do to a child. I don't even know how I got my hands on it. I think I have a brother who's 5 years older, so it had to be that I was in the room. But like, yeah, man, like I would let my 9-year-old kid watch it. I mean, I guess I did all right, but like, yeah.
I think you turned it okay. I think you turned it okay.
Yeah.
There's so yeah, it was Delirious kind of got you on it. You started, chewing bits for your friends at school.
Yeah, it's interesting because like, I mean, I just had like a concept of what stand-up comedy was at like a really super early age. They say like human beings that kind of see and then they can do kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dad's a lawyer. It's way easier to become a lawyer, right? But yeah, and like I had actually had an uncle. He was a magician. His name was the Great Tunka, and I saw him on a television commercial, and I was like, "Oh, damn, this is an option." So, like, between like really enjoying like the concept of being on stage performing in front of people and making people laugh and laughing myself, and then having a family member who I can see like literally just randomly popped up on television in front of my face. So I was like, "Okay, cool. This is something I'm into," and it looks. I mean, somebody I know is doing it. So it's actually possible. right? So I think those like early influence, it just like makes your consciousness like kind of latch on to a possible experience. That was definitely a spark. Yeah.
So, yeah, because you went to school. Did you took communications or did you?
Yeah, I mean, like, it, yeah, but I dropped out as soon as I got into stand up. It was interesting, like, because I mean, I stopped going to school after CJEP. I went to CJEP I didn't do communications first. I was doing like social studies,
Mhm.
bored me, and then I took communications, and it was interesting. I found the most interesting thing the film study, but like the script writing, like it felt too almost remedial. You know what I mean? I wanted like hands on, and then I did stand up, and I was
Right.
like, okay, well, this is the most direct access to the thing. You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, I just felt like the movie analysis stuff was really cool. I'd never looked at movies in that way, but yeah, all like the script writing and like all that stuff, it felt less than what stand-up comedy was. So I just stopped going to school, and I was like, I was gonna do stand-up, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stand up is like the direct route of getting your thoughts to other people
yeah,
rather
man.
than through a film or yeah.
Yeah, you plug right in, like
Just you got the mic.
you know, yeah, man. Like, anyways. But it
Yeah.
was fun though, and I enjoyed it. And it's interesting because because I took communications, it gave me the basic skills to learn how to edit myself. Because yeah, I had to add an editing class, and like, yeah, man, like just the basics of editing is pretty much the same on all, I think, editing software. You know, and yeah, man, and it really actually sparked my love for editing. Yeah, I really enjoy editing, and so it was good that I took it because it gave me that side of the business. You know, the not acting, the not, you know, being on stage, being in front of a camera, you know? Yeah.
We're going to get back to the acting, but with comedy, like when you started doing comedy, how is your writing discipline and how has it evolved? I like that face.
No, I like, honestly, I don't write stand up. I never have. I just don't know how. I can't. It's really hard for me. Like, well, I mean, but it depends. I guess it depends on what your concept of writing is too, right? Because everybody has different language. And so if writing to you is actually sitting down with like a paper and a pad or your keyboard and you're like actually words are coming out of your fingertips, then I do not do that for stand up. I think of a concept or you know how it is, like you become inspired, whatever, something
Yeah.
happens, and like, which is the best jokes, right? The ones that literally write themselves in your brain and you kind of just have to say them. And like whatever. So if you're talking about like writing that out, then I don't do that. But I remember it and then I take it to the stage as fast as I can. And then doing it on stage solidifies it in my mind. And then I grow it from there, from the memory. It's really, I can't write the way I talk. And stand up has to feel like a conversation to me. So it's the only way I can do it. But everything else I can write other stuff, but not stand up, not at all. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, shoot, I can't remember. I read a post today from a comedian's perspective of idolizing Pryor, and then she moved and she was living in L.A. and at the Comedy Store, and seeing him come in on a Tuesday and bombing, but being back on the Wednesday with it a bit more refined, you know, no walkouts on the Wednesday, Thursday, applause break, and then
Right.
Friday
Cool.
destroying just by, you know, working
Cool.
it out on stage. You have to be though. You have to be prior to be able to get that kind of stage time in
Yeah, but I
quality
mean,
rooms.
that kind
But
of stage time gets you good, you know, gets you
yeah,
good the way you want to
it's
get good, right? You need to grind it out, whether you're writing it or you're just saying it on stage. That is like, you know, that's why the guys in the States get better than the guys in Canada. So, like, you know, they got like, where we got like how many clubs between here and Toronto? Like, I don't know, like 4, you know, there's like what, 20 between whatever, you know, wherever the hell they are, like in whoever city's next to them, you know?
what about the UK? I mean, it's a high
Right.
population density, and there's a lot of
Yep. UK
clubs
too.
around, but
Yeah.
most of them are like a lot of them are more theater based. I think the culture of stand up is different. There's some holdouts who do like the more American style, and the
Mm.
American style is liked. But have you played the UK?
I have not. I
You
have
have
not
not.
played the UK.
But
No.
you get that BBC credit though, so that's
Yeah, I know.
always
Yo,
good.
you know what? It's very appealing to me. The whole 25 minutes headliner set. I like the
Yeah,
whole concept of that. I've been
I
dying to go out there, but you know.
I was curious about your writing process because you're very animated. You have great act outs and expression. I was wondering how you got to that, but that's because you're writing it in your head first before taking a
Yeah,
stage where you solidify it. Which is, do you set aside time to do this, or do you only do it when you're inspired?
it depends. Like, it's stand up is the most like visceral, raw, emotional thing that I do. So sensorial for me because like if I feel bored with my stand up, like if I if I feel like I need to write something, then that's all I'm thinking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know how it is. You have that new like five concept, the kind of like that kind of outline of that time that can work, and then I'll attack it, and I'll attack it as long as I can, and then I'll probably feel okay, and then the next time I feel like I'm not doing anything, you know what I mean, then I just put as much brain power, because to me it's all about the focus, right? Like
Yeah.
however you can focus that creative energy, whether you have to put it with a pen, or what works for me, like taking smoking a joint and like taking a walk, like walking my son out like for a good hour, you know what I mean, my brain just does it, like
Which again, it's because you've been doing so long, it's the repetition. So
right.
the paths are there for your brain to work on it. I noticed that we have a number of people watching. If you have a question, please just type it into the chat. We'll bring it up on screen for Rodney to answer, and also click like, just kind of show that you're watching the channel. So we get to see those hearts and thumbs up. Okay, hearts. I might have been asking a little too far. Now you also are got into the acting. What was the transition point? What brought you into?
I like, for me it was always acting, like kind of first. I never, like, I mean, I always looked at stand up kind of amazed me, and I always knew it was a thing, and I always knew it was a thing I might be able to do. But acting, I mean, like, you watch television, right?
Yeah,
Acting is like one of those ideas that like is super solid. It's not like this nebulous thing. It's like an actual thing in front of you, right? So I always went in there with the idea of like, I'm going to be acting. So like, and I'd done a lot of drama in like elementary school, high schools. Again, like one of those things I just naturally enjoyed and had a thing for. So it wasn't hard for me. So like, so I started off with an acting kind of a background because of school, acting in
yeah,
plays and stuff. So and then but I got into comedy stand up first, because stand up is the easiest. It's got to be the easiest like performance art to get into. Like, you literally just walk up on a stage, like, you know what I mean? Like dance, you got to be trained. Like instruments, you got to like have some kind of like put in some kind of work. Stand up, you just walk up. Like I
it's
mean,
easy to get on stage that first time.
yeah, right,
Right. Like,
That's so true.
if you shit the bed, the word gets out.
Yeah, happened to me.
But
Yeah.
yeah, didn't happen to you. You kept at it anyways. Like,
Yo, dude, the first time I went on stage, I killed. The second time, I bombed so hard. The works wouldn't have me. It took me months to get back on stage. Months, man. But I mean, like, yo, I was like, I was there all the time. They couldn't they couldn't keep me, couldn't stop me. Yeah.
what's some of the mistakes that you made that you got better, that you recognized and you got better doing stand up?
Oh wow. Uh,
Yeah, I'll ask the tough questions.
that is a hard one. I don't really think about it like that, because to me, again, like, maybe it's my process, but like I don't look at stuff like mistakes. I just kind of look at them all as like little learning, you know what I mean, kind
Yeah.
of possibilities. Like, it's all
So
about
if I
changing.
rephrase it to say, what little learning obstacles did you come
Like,
across that you?
okay. So here's a big one. But I mean, I haven't been on stage in a long time, so I don't even know if I can still do this.
Right.
But one is, I used to kind of go up there and try to kill all the time, like literally walk on stage, and like it had to be in my head. And I guess because watching Delirious when I was 9, like every line had to be bam, thunder, bam, lightning, bam, earthquake. You know what I mean? So I went up there trying to do that shit. And I mean, there are guys out there who do that and they can sustain that. But like,
Yeah.
it took me forever to realize that there are other gears. I went on once after I did a weekend. You know Jeff Elliott? He's a Toronto comic. Really,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really nice,
Just a
you know?
buddy. Yeah.
And I did a weekend with him, and like, back then I was like super, like you say, facial expressions movement. I was like just fucking just huge, you know. And he is the complete opposite. And I watched him, like we were, you know, and I was getting more laughs, but like I can hear his laughs more. You know what I mean? Like I can hear like the little tiny bits of laughter. You know what I mean? Me, like I was so loud, so big. Like there were times, like even when they were laughing loud, I was louder than the laughter. You know what I mean? And this guy, like the laughs were always louder than him. You know what I mean? Like, and then yeah, man. And then someone gave me some tips, and then I kind of learned how to like change my modes. You know what I mean? Like, you know, have some dips. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I whisper. You know, like there's all these things you can do, right?
You get
voice, you know?
Getting 200 or 300 people to be completely silent while they hang on your words. It's like that's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And
you got to be aware that you can even do that, right? Like,
rather than just a steamrolling in. Now prior to COVID, like you're a comedy producer as well. How can I not mention the Underground Railroad comedy tour, which is something you created, and it happened most years. I take it it's not happening this year or this coming year.
Yo, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to go digital. I'm gonna try to go digital with it, man.
Go digital with it. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration to do this?
I did a show once, like I can't remember how long ago, and I did a show with Patrick Hay and Arthur Simeon at the Comedy Nest, like such a long time ago. And I like after the weekend, I looked at like it was, and they were just fantastic shows, you know. And after the weekend, I kind of looked at them. We're all kind of having a drink. I'm like, yo, man, this is literally the first all black weekend I have ever done. Like, and like at this point, I'd been doing comedy already for like, you know, 5-8 years, maybe. It had been a long enough time, you know. And I was like, you know, that, and it wasn't just a show that wasn't like a black, just like it was just a show, you know what I mean?
Just a show
like,
that happened to be.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, man, it just needs to be. Is anybody doing this across the country? And then like, you know, I spoke to Kenny and I was like, yo, dude, why aren't you touring your fucking like the Nubians thing? He's like, I don't need to, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right. Seemed like a no-brainer. It's like nobody's doing this. This is the most fun thing ever. You know what I mean? Like anyway, yeah, so that's how it popped off. Like literally that weekend. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call it something that everybody will understand, and we're just gonna do it every year.
Gabriel O'Massey just chimed in with Rodney in the house.
Yo, what up, man? I miss you, bro. I miss you, homie.
Now, yeah. So that's how it started. Now, what was the longest year for it? Because you always have these amazing acts. You've played from Nova Scotia. You made it all the way to BC, or? Yeah,
man, we've done everywhere except for like the territories. I think. I don't think we haven't done PEI or Newfoundland yet, though.
Right. Yeah. Newfoundland's comedy scene is actually was really starting to come along.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
it's so crazy how it's just like, you know, all the momentum, right?
All right. So Underground Railroad 2021 going to be a virtual tour.
Yo, you know what I want to do? Okay, so I haven't actually spoke to anybody about this except for my business partner, so and Daniel Woodrow. We are considering, and I really want to do this. I want to do like almost every day in February with every like comic of color in the country. Just everybody under the banner. We just every day. Like, you know what I mean? People could buy like a tour ticket, and like we go across the country. We start in Vancouver and just go every day across. You know, I really want to do that. Like just book like freaking like 20, 30 people. You know, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I mean, we're trying, but who knows? You know, it'd be fun.
Now, you've always also been an early adopter to a lot of technology. You were doing VR shows, comedy, like recording 3D stand-up sets, and now you've got these fully animated 3D cartoons of you with other, like either interviewing or the little shorts that you've got on your Facebook page. Like, what has been the driving thing behind you getting into the toys?
It's stand-up for me now. It's so weird how this happened. Like, it's such a weird, like,
tell us how it happened.
Okay, so I mean, like, whatever. I'm I guess what are they, I'm a futurist, I guess. You know, I'm
early
really
adopter.
yeah. Early, no, I'm a futurist, dude. Like, yeah, I think there's like
Early adopters are
adopter, and then
behind you.
there's like futurists. Yeah, like I mean, I don't believe technology is going to solve all of our problems anymore, but I definitely like cool shit that I can use, you know, in tech. And I mean, yeah, VR's always been like a huge. I mean, video games always is an interest of mine. Do you game? Do you game at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not. I'm do more like the strategy games,
Mm.
but
Real time strategy guy. You look like a real time strategy guy.
not a real time. No,
No. Okay.
I'm too slow. Like Civ 6 is pretty much one of my big games.
Mm.
There's that. I like the BattleTech that came out. I don't know
Nice.
if
Yeah,
you've seen
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Oh man,
Okay.
that
I
is
see.
a
I see. Yeah, yeah. You look like the type. I know you were a gamer. You had to be a gamer. So
too big of a nerd.
yeah, hell yeah, man. Nerds are running the world right now. This is the nerds. This is the nerds universe right now, bro. Like, anyways. So yeah, man. And virtual reality was always since I was a kid, just like Lawnmower Man and like
Yeah.
Matrix. Like, I mean, like, you know, this the whole idea of virtual reality, you know what I mean? And what it meant, like, even just philosophically, I was blew my mind. And then when they came out, like in 2016, like I was like all in. Like all I wanted to know about was VR. And like it was funny because I was just interested in it. I didn't like, and I kind of thought I knew the possibilities, but I didn't, man. And like, I mean, the first thing I knew is like I wanted to merge it with stand up, you know. So that's when you saw me, I started filming like the 360 stuff because I thought that like the thing that would sell would be like taking stand up, putting it in it, like taking the real world stand up, putting it in the headset, and like having people like kind of watch passively, kind of a thing. But like, you know, it was interesting because people, I thought movies and stuff would be blow up in VR, but it didn't, you know, and it hasn't really picked up yet because people don't. Turns out people don't want to be passive in VR. People want to be active in there. You know what I mean? And why would you want to just sit there with a fucking computer on your face and just look around? You want to be doing stuff, you know. So it makes sense.
You know. Yeah,
but I mean, the videos are so cool, and I'm happy that I did it, you know, and like I understand like it's a whole skill. But it turns out, especially because of COVID, like what the whole thing is, what VR is really cool for is that like doing stuff in VR and then bringing it to the real world. Because like now with COVID, I have a comedy club in virtual reality now, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I have a whole studio. Like I got cameras in there. Like it's crazy. It's an actual space, man. You know, so like now, I mean, like, you know, I'm like one of the only people with a comedy club. I have it in my computer. It's at my house. You know, dude, I'm doing live shows with this thing, with this avatar. Like I had the venue built, I had the avatar built. It's a free app. Like it's fucking free, man.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, and I'm literally my Rodney Ramsey as a comedian is now a cartoon. Like I do my Zoom shows, I'll go there within my venue as the cartoon character in VR. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, so it's like that's where the VR. I had no idea VR would take me here. I had no idea this was going to be the thing, but you know, it's crazy, man. Like dude, when I'm in there, it blows my mind. Like every time I go in there, like I film like a monologue or like I do an interview or something, like I just can't believe that I'm able to do this. You know what I mean? Like I guess anyways, like really
from outside the Matrix, watching yourself inside the Matrix.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Like, dude, the things I can do in there, like so let's say I'm doing a monologue, right? So I got my venue and like the camera, this app, just to show you how sophisticated this app is. So I'll film my monologue. Like I can set up as many cameras as I want in there, and then I record it from my computer and from another app. But I can also record in app, right? And when I record an app, it's not just like a flat 2D thing. I'm recording the whole environment, right? So when I go back in there, I can watch myself, I can play myself in 3D 360, and I can take any camera angle from one take, bro. One take. I don't have to do a bunch of takes and do a bunch of cameras like real life, like one take, and I can go back and like go around, take whatever angle I want, get a close up. It's mind blowing. Like,
have you been in the what do they call it? The Ubisoft Fishbowl?
No, I never even heard of that. What is that?
That's their mocap studio. So it's surround. So they take real people.
Yeah.
And they film them from all the different directions, so they then can go
right. Yeah.
And splice it in. So you're sort of like doing the opposite. It's
anyway, blows my mind, and it's free. You know, if you have the system to run it, though. I mean, I put in a considerable amount of money into my PC, you know, be able to run that smoothly. So
I am running a very old PC, but thankfully I'm gonna just do a shout out to StreamYard. They're the people who create this app that we're using.
it's good.
So they make it, yeah, it's simple, ease of use, and it's stable and looks professional. These are the things that they kind of go with. Except my hair is kind of just popping out 3D, just
Looking
freaking
good, man.
COVID hair.
Dude, I think it looks good. I think it looks it's coming really nice off the bricks, man. I'm like the way the light's hitting it off the bricks. I think it looks dope.
Thank you.
I like how you put the bricks like just like they're in back of your bookcase too. It gives a little bit of dimension. I noticed, man. I noticed.
Framing. It's all about the framing. That's yeah, no haircuts since February. That's
Hey man, it's the apocalypse, bro.
it now. All right, so COVID has done good things for you. Has it pushed you more into the 3D realm, or was that something you had already started?
I mean, I literally, this is how I do stand up now. I mean, I literally like my open mics, like I take, now I'm in a mode where since I'm not going to open mics now, after 8, I try to write and then film something and then try to edit it, process it, and get it out. You know what I mean? That's like my writing time. And like, I'm hoping that all this stuff I'm writing, because there's just the apps has some limitations, but if I can like start using like multimedia, like if I have access to my computer files, I can like show videos and like cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing I'm missing. And then like I'm I hopefully like I'll be able to do like an hour with this guy and like do a bunch of crazy shit, you know, because I can change environments. Anyways, it's really exciting. I'm like, you know, COVID changed everything. I mean, I literally no way I would have been putting this much resources and energy into this thing if it wasn't for the apocalypse. Like, no way.
Yeah, I have to say, like you've been on Battlecom. Battlecom is something that has been kicking around for
Yeah.
close to 10 years,
Yeah.
and I was never putting it on. You know, I'd like to do it as a show, and I had the thoughts and the concepts for the show, and I said, well, I wouldn't be able to do it well enough to put it on the web as a web series. Now it is, and
What else are you gonna do? You have to.
Yeah, 3,000 views on it. And
yeah, amazing. But it's a good show and it's a refined show, and you've been doing it, so you know it works, right?
Yeah, there's been tweaks and changes for the internet. We're still finding new things. Like the last episode, I'm very happy with. Just watching analytics. So it's math. You have to kind of get used to the math.
I hate that part. Like I'd love to have a discussion with you, not here because it's boring, about like how you're pushing that, because like I'm trying to crack the internet number code for a bit, but I also hate having to even think about that stuff. You know, it just takes away from everything, you know, like yeah.
Some of it is like I did changes to make the show better and then realized that it gave a drop in the analytics. And then what did I lose when I made the show better?
Right.
And once I figured that out, I'm able to sort of correct in the other direction. So, well, yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah,
now, Claudio Capri has just popped in. I love the fact that I can just bring people's
that is badass, man. Your CNN graphics down there, it's wicked, man.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got their Facebook, like it tells us where they're from. So that says Facebook.
Great, man. I'm loving this app, man. This is super cool.
It is. It's so good. There is a free version as well. It comes in with their branding, but I've upgraded a little bit because it gives me a little bit more freedom, etc.
Man, I really like this, man. Yeah. Anyways.
So all right. Everything else that's happened this year, like George Floyd was sort of the huge impetus for the start of the Black Lives Matter. Like really, I mean, it existed before then, but that there was no way to ignore it after that. How has that affected you?
Oh man, it was really weird. When that shit happened, like it started, you know, being a Black person, especially in Canada, you kind of try to ignore a lot of racist shit that happens because it's just like easier to go about your day. And in Canada, it's like it's very cerebral. You know what I mean? It's not as openly, it's not as vulgar. You know,
okay. So Canadians are more polite at being racist.
It's more sophisticated racism, you know. And you gotta really be listening for it to detect it, you know. And what it did with that, when that whole thing happened, I started really thinking about like all the like just like crazy racist shit that's like happened to me in my life that's kind of made my life kind of, kind of change directions, just like education wise, workplace, like stand up, like, oh my God, like that was one of the things I was thinking about a lot, like all the racist shit that I had to go through, like, especially when I started stand up and like with the other comics, like, and understanding, because there was a long time where like I had this whole kind of thing in my head about like trying not to be like a black comic, whatever that was, because like, all the anytime like I tell too many black jokes or do a lot of race material, like, the comics would like and like kill with it, a lot of the white comics would be like, they get pissed, you know what I mean, because they can, I guess, because they can do this shit, like whatever it was, I'm on in their heads, but it made me write different, you know what I mean, it made me try to write like a white comic. You know what I'm saying? And then it took me a long time to realize that it's like, this is not a cheap go-to for material. You know what I mean? Like my race, my race is completely fused to my identity, not my choosing at all. That is the outside world, right? There's a lot of white people, it's a head trip. White people like giving you race and then telling you that you cannot use it as you know what I mean, a tool, and so like that kind of like, it was that kind of like I've been battling with that for such a long time, and then when the whole George Floyd thing happened, it was like a thing that I realized that was really happening, really there, you know what I mean, and like kind of, I don't know, it kind of freed me up a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like now, like, like again, like race isn't even just an identity. It's also a reality for me. And it's reality that I cannot escape. Like there's no, even when I ignore it, it's like super present. And then the more I ignore it, it creeps itself in. So now, like when I write, if I'm writing 90% race stuff, well, then I'm writing 90% race stuff. I refuse to edit it down to make people around me feel comfortable. Like these are experiences that I'm having, and like I have to express them. So whatever,
To me, that's always been the best comedy, is the comedy that has like the emotive core. Like there's something real behind it, and it's a chance to educate and have that discussion, which silence doesn't give us.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Black Lives Matter is it is. I think it's changed some of the landscape. It hasn't done enough to change yet, obviously, from the last election and seeing the numbers of people that seem to be just perfectly okay with racism and systemic and otherwise.
But, it's funny because like me and my wife would talk about that all the time, how it's like so bittersweet because there's like 70 million people who are just like fucking dicks, right? But there's a lot of people shitting on the Black Lives Matter movement because like, it's a movement. People wave that banner, and there's all kinds of people waving that banner, right? Like I mean, there's a core, but then there's all these satellites that are doing whatever. But, no matter what people do under that banner, they were a significant factor in Donald Trump not getting reelected. Like they mobilized so many people, and that, at its core is like makes it a positive thing, you know what I mean? And like I appreciate that about the whole BLM movement.
Bill Barr, William Barr just said today that no amount of recount or anything is going to make Trump president for the second term, which is, but Trump's announced that he's going to run in 2024, which I don't think he can if he's a convicted felon.
Yeah.
So,
which is, they're going to be working on that for sure.
You're also, well, I won't say dabbled in conspiracies. You love the weird news, like the pillar in Utah.
Oh yeah, that's the best, man. It's so funny, man.
Have you heard it's back?
Yeah, it's like in Europe, man.
In Romania, I think. Yeah. So, obviously Amazon didn't send it because it wouldn't be that quick, but it was like,
dude, it is the best. Yeah, I know. That's so funny. Oh my God. Prime. Yeah, man. It got shipped Prime. Yo, man, I love that. I love like, yeah, obviously it's some dudes friggin' like planning it there because they wanted to be innocent. It's just, like that's the most obvious thing, you know. But the fact that it is in Utah for 3 years
Years?
and
Yeah,
nobody saw it,
2016. I thought it was 4.
yeah, I don't, dude, whatever.
Yeah, over 3 years. We'll say over 3 years.
It's amazing. And then they took it away and then replanted it somewhere. Like the second it became like that is amazing, man. Like the dedication, bro. Oh,
Or
I don't know, man.
I'm just waiting for a couple months. Maybe like they've got bunches of them just stashed around the world, so they'll hide that one, and one will pop up in Australia. Like that was somebody playing the long game. That is.
It's the ingenious, man. Like who has the resources? You know, they build a monolith. Like,
Oh no, it's Musk.
and it's like after everything that's happened this year too, like people kind of looked at it, they're like, all right.
All right, the aliens are marking this place.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Is that cues for the demolition crew?
Oh, so good. Love it. It's like one of the best things that's happened this year.
Yeah, man. What's your favorite thing that happened this year? Let's
Like we talking like news wise? Like we talk just
well, I'll ask it. Personal to you, favorite thing that happened to you this year, and news wise, and then just complete random. Let's go for something that you think was just crazy that you really just enjoyed.
all right, you're gonna have to remind me what all what the questions were again. Let me start with the you said the most interesting thing that's happened to me this year.
Yeah, the best thing.
Best and like we're talking
let's talk good news.
Like personally, we're talking like personally to me. All right, so I'll assume we're talking professionally and career wise. All right,
however you want to take it, man. It's your heart.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess okay. So a couple things because I mean, the pandemic is like whatever. It's really shitty in a way because I mean, like I can't see my parents and stuff like that. But it has really made like my family's always been close. We've always been like a really close group. But like I mean, like man, we're really tight now. I mean, like we have our fights. Like we hate each other sometimes. It's just being human, right? But I mean, like really close to my daughter. Like closer with my daughter, closer with my wife, and like I get to see my son all the time, because of COVID, like I don't have to like fucking travel to places I don't want to go, and I get to hang with him. You know what I mean? That shit's important, man. Giving your children attention is everything. Like, I mean, that's how you grow a consciousness, right? You fucking pay attention to it. So like that has been, like just family wise, that's been a joy and a blessing. If you believe in all that shit. And professionally, honestly, man, like all the time I've been getting to write. Like, I mean, like I've been working on like it's a novel, but I've been writing for like the last year, and like I'm hoping to put it out in volumes, like 3 volumes, like of 100 pages, novellas kind of thing, and then I was gonna slap together as a novel and hopefully get published, whatever, like that, So that I finished the first volume. I finished the first draft, the first volume, which is like, it took me like, I've never worked on something that long. It took me like a year and a half to and I'm not even done the first draft. I had to stop writing because I'm working on my show.
Right.
But just the attempt was awesome. And then like every day, like putting in like 2-3 hours, just like grinding away on this story. It's the only thing I've ever done artistically that gave me as much joy or more joy than stand up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's that, like, I mean, the grind, it's just so grueling, like when you get something good, you're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? When you get that, like, it takes so long to get like a nugget of gold, it's just fucking like brutal, but man, oh man, like, I think that's like, I guess like artistically and the known unknown stuff. It's my wife. Am I too loud, baby?
No, it's fine. I was actually just looking for the.
There's paper. Just 1 second.
We gotta say hello to the wife at this point. Just a reminder to anyone: if you want to ask your questions, you can drop it in. Hello.
Here's the laundry detergent.
Thank you.
And look, if people want to find out more about like your show, your online show, or where to get your novella when it's out, at Rodney Ramsey on Instagram and Twitter, all the information would be there. And I will stop that. I should have asked this in the little pre-talk we did before the interview. This show is, of course, supported by donations. So if anyone wants to support, it's in the link tree that's running on the bottom. I can stop that if you want. But so what's okay? So what's your favorite thing that has happened in the news?
Shoot, man, in the news, wow, the news is so friggin' depressing lately. You know, it just sucks that it's always these fucking asshole billionaires who are doing all the cool stuff. But like, I'm really into like space stuff and like what Elon Musk is doing with the whole space industry and like everything that's going on there is like fantastic. Like the shuttle that they just threw up there the other day with all those NASA astronauts. I mean, like that's like epic, man. These guys were paying the Russians a lot of money to take them up there for decades, right? Like
it's 20 years. This past month was 20 years anniversary of people living continuously on the International Space Station.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you for that knowledge.
Useless knowledge. Yeah.
No, I love it. That's great, man. That's awesome. That's a huge thing. And like all the stuff that's happening, like with like all the announcements about going to the moon. Cause like, I don't know, again, I'm really
China landed today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sending robots, which is the smart thing to do. Like, okay, like I'm all about like human beings, like experimenting, being in space and like knowing what it does to the body and stuff like that. But like, again, we're eventually gonna have to put people on the moon. But like, yo, if you're doing anything in space, use freaking robots. Like, why are you gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna explore the moon and like, yo, use robots first, right? It's yeah, I just like the whole concept of what's they're starting to think the moon instead of Mars because the Mars is out of reach, bro. Like, you're like, no, don't even think of Mars. How you gonna go? Yo, tame the moon, bro. You know, mine the moon. You know, like stop fucking up the earth. You know, that's some cool news that happened. Other than that, news has been shit. Everything is bad.
Any good TV that you've watched now with the lockdown, or movies or streaming or?
Yeah, it's funny, like because the new baby boy and like my wife's back to work and like, you know,
I noticed that wasn't one of your favorite things.
No, I love him to death, but you know, I said family first. He was in there. But yeah, my wife going back to work, definitely not one of my favorite things. Like friggin', it was way easier when she was hanging out. Like so, like now, like you know. But I mean, like she's so good at her job, and she's like does like something like it's funny because like I'm an artist, and she actually does like good stuff for like the community. Like she runs like this peace center at Dawson. Anyways, just an all around good person makes me feel like shit just being around because she just does good things all the time. But
I know that.
Yeah,
one.
What was the question? It was
entertainment that you've been following,
dude. So. Again, like it's really hard for me to fit in stuff to watch now, but I fit in I finished the Queen's Gambit last week, which is outstanding. Like one of the best shows I've ever seen, man. You know, it's one season. It's
wow. What's that actress's name again?
She's in the New Mutants. I've never seen her anywhere else.
Yeah, she was in Split as well.
Oh, she was.
I'm pretty sure she was. Yeah, I think she was the one who survived in Split.
Really, I'm gonna watch that again, man.
Yeah. And New Mutant, she was fantastic in. You know, the it had its problems, but she was definitely not one of them.
What are you talking about? The Queen's Gambit?
New Mutants, yeah. That
actress. I haven't watched New Mutants yet. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I'm probably gonna check it out. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, but Queen's Gambit, I'd highly recommend it. It's only one season, you know. It's like they took a book and they made it a season. I'm very against books being turned into movies because I don't think the movies
can hit the depth.
Yeah, man, you're not long enough, you know. But a good like 7 to 10 episodes, one season, knock out a book, man. That's what they did, and they cover it. So good, man. Like I never have to read the book. That's how good the show was.
Before specialty channels came out, do you remember miniseries?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, miniseries, man. Yeah, miniseries were good. Like this is what the Brits do. Everything the Brits make is a miniseries. Like,
yeah, that's true. They call it a series, and then they might renew for another one. So they have it as a complete arc for a year, and then okay, we'll do another year.
Man, you know what I saw that I didn't like, which I was dying to like? Parasite. Everybody's talking about Parasite, and I didn't like. It was good, but I was like, Oscar good? I mean, maybe you can explain. I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you can explain to me why everybody loved this movie so much. Like, I just don't understand.
I think it was the fact that everyone sort of turned. Everyone had like an about face in their characters. It was incredibly well acted.
Yeah, no, dude, it was super solid. Don't get me wrong. It was a very, very, very good movie. I laughed. I was like intrigued the whole way through, but like I still didn't understand why it won an Oscar. I was like the whole time, I'm like, because for me it was just a well-told story, like just a very well-told, like simple story about like all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? But I just didn't like. They won a fucking Oscar for that shit. I was like, and what did they win? What did they win the Oscar for in that movie? Do you know?
There was Best Picture. I think wasn't supporting actor for.
Did they win Best Picture? They won Best Picture with that movie.
Best Picture, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I liked it, but I can't believe that one Best Picture. Who do you know who was up against? I'm really curious now.
All right. We're gonna have to Google that. Okay, Wayne. I have you seen Wayne?
Wayne? I never heard of that.
It's on Amazon. It was originally like on YouTube. It's from the guys that wrote Deadpool, and
I'm already in. All right.
It is. You're already out. Did you say?
I'm in. Yeah.
You're in. It's like, yeah. You don't know if it's a coming of age story. You don't know if it's a vigilante story. It's
oh, sick. Yo, this got an 8.4 on IMDb, 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. What?
Yeah.
I'm this tonight. Oh, wow.
It's hard to stop once you start a
Wayne. Oh, my God. So it got black folks in it, though, because, all right, there's one black guy. All right.
One. Yeah.
All right.
He's a great character, but
I'm sure he is. And always like that's a huge thing for me when I watch stuff now. Like something has to be like super good for there not to be a diverse cast, but that looks like it might be worth it. Yeah.
What's your you studied the Meisner method, right?
Yeah, I did a lot of Meisner actually back in the day. Yeah.
What would be your dream show to be on, like, or dream director to work with? We'll go with that way.
Dream director.
Yeah.
The guy who did Tenet. Is that Christopher Nolan?
Christopher Nolan, yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's like my favorite. He's been my favorite director since Memento.
Yeah, okay. That's going way back.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, dude. I remember that movie blew my freaking mind, like when I saw that, and like, yeah, I just love Christopher Nolan, like that kind of mind-bending shit, man. I just love it, love that. Yeah, so that's the kind of person. But like, as for like shows, you ever seen The Leftovers? Have you ever seen that show? You would know.
I would know. I think that's the one where like 30% of all people just
it was like 2% of the world's population. It was basically COVID.
Yeah, okay.
Basically COVID, but instead of like people dying, like they just disappeared. Like they just like disappeared, and the show takes place like a year basically after the rapture, and it's like just crazy. Like it's only 3 seasons. Like if you ever get a chance, man, I think it's one of the greatest shows ever made. Like I gotta watch it again just to understand it, you know. But yeah, just weird, crazy, cerebral shows like that. You know what show? Okay, so I don't know what's your favorite. I know you're into comic book stuff. One of my some of my all-time favorite Marvel stuff is like some of the Netflix stuff. Like Daredevil for me is like one of the greatest Marvel whatever, like film, TV things that's ever come out. I loved it. First season of Punisher, just loved. And I think one of my favorite all-time Marvel whatever title on television is, and I haven't even finished it yet, Legion. That first season, I don't know if you've seen it.
That was mind-blowing.
Just incredible. Like I've never seen it, like just television. You know, the fact that they made it into a mental health, like it was just genius, man.
Yeah.
You know, like that to me is like the ultimate. Like and the second season was good. I just hadn't have a chance to finish it yet. But
yeah, only the 3 seasons. Expanse.
Oh, I'm up on the books, man. I'm dying to get on that show. They only have 1 season left. I'm dying to be on that show, man. Yeah. Do you read the books or just the show?
I just the show, and like if they ended after the first 3 seasons, I would have been happy. But you know, the continuation with the 4th season and what's going to happen after that.
Yeah, like the 4th. It's funny because that last season, to me it was like the least. I still was okay with it. It was well told and well produced, but like out of all the seasons, it was my least favorite, and it's also my least favorite book. Like where it goes after this is like madness. Yeah, it's a really great story, man.
Sean Griffin is chiming in to say The Expanse is fantastic. And we were mentioning space earlier. That's actually Sean's ID picture from NASA because he works for NASA. So he's telling me I should read the books. So I will read the books. Again. Yeah, Sean, you're living the life.
Bro, you got NASA up in here.
He's a fan of Battlecom. So
hey, NASA,
get you back on Battlecom at some point.
Hey NASA, you guys need to start mining asteroids, okay, like tomorrow, so that those people in the Congo don't have to do it anymore. Okay, send the black people up there. Okay, make them African nuts. Okay, all right, give them good jobs in space. All right, stop all the Earth mining. Okay, thanks NASA.
There we are. NASA has been told what to do. We're rounded it. We're over 50 minutes already. This is supposed to be a half-hour show, but this has been so great.
Yeah, I'm talking to NASA over here.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's so funny.
Oh man. Do you got any final thoughts you want to chime in?
This is a lot of fun, dude. I'm loving your show. I love your brick wall. If you guys
got to stick a poster up on that thing.
Oh, it's great, man. You should if you can add it. It's awesome. Like it's I know you said your computer is old, but it takes a considerable amount of processing power. Oh, well, you have the green. That's right. You have the green screen. That's why it looks so. That's why it's tracking so well.
It's not done on my computer.
That's right. It's the app itself.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's happening. So you and I are chatting. It's all being sent to California. Like we're chatting via California at this time, and it's all being sent out because of the beauty of StreamYard.
Yeah, man. StreamYard's dope. I'm gonna get it. You should too.
Yay! Hit me up. I'll send you the email. Give me your email, and I'll connect you with them. That way, if you do go for the paid features, you get a discount, and I get a credit for next year.
That StreamYard hookup, bro.
Give me the hookup. Oh, hey, Sean has said that they're working on it, but all we got here these days is iPads and iPad minis.
Well played.
Yeah. Well, they landed a person on the moon using a slide rule. So the iPad Mini's a step up. Just awesome. Just saying. So if anyone watching, hit the like, hit the subscribe, follow Rodney Ramsey on Instagram and Twitter.
Man, my show, my online show is Known Unknowns. I got a page for that. Go ahead and like that, man. I'm trying to drop as many interviews and monologues as possible. Yeah.
All right. Known Unknowns. So you can find that is that on Facebook?
YouTube, Facebook, wherever, man. Yeah.
All right. So just popping that up there. So it's Known Unknowns. That's the correct spelling.
Yeah. Look at you with your typing skills. I didn't even know you were doing it.
Well, yeah, I got all of my fingers mainly. So we're all set on that. Thank you very much, Rodney Ramsey, for dropping by for They Talk Funny.
Great
My
show.
pleasure.
Thank you.
We're going to drop out and we can chat a little bit after. I'll tell you about the math And thank you, everyone who's been watching. And if you watch it on repeat, remember to hit the like, hit subscribe, catch these shows when they're fresh.